So today I'm going to be sharing my coming out story with all of you. I came out to my parents sophomore year in high school. At the moment I was in a musical and it was Phantom of the Opera. And while I was in that musical I met a girl and she was one of the dancers and I fell in love with her. She was really cute, so I just saw her around. I actually didn't get to talk to her until I went to a GSA meeting at my school. It was like an after-school club, and that's where I officially had the first conversation with her. And we never really dated, but it was sophomore year that just one day I decided to come out to my parents, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to tell someone. I just have to tell my parents. So then I had this gay friend. His name was Francisco. And one day, at school, we just planned, today after school, I'm going to come out to my parents. And then he's like, okay, I'll come with you. And he just, encouraged me. He's like, you need to come out to your parents. You need to be true to yourself. He's like, you'll be happier this way if you just tell your parents. And I just, I couldn't just keep it anymore. So we came all the way to my house. I remember that day we had late rehearsal. We got out early that day, so I had told my parents I would be coming home early. So they made lunch for me and my friend, and I actually just came in and I was like, "Oh, Dad, Mom, I need to talk to you guys." And then we went into the living room and my friend was sitting there on the sofa, and I just stood there and I was shaking and I couldn't say it. And my parents were really worried, are you okay? Just kept asking me just different things, and then I was just shaking and I couldn't say it. And then my mom's like, "Oh, does this have to do with something with your orientation? Do you like guys? Do you like guys and girls? Do you like girls?" And then I said, "Yeah." And then immediately my dad said, "I don't know how this can change anything. You're still my daughter and I love you." So then my mom, she was just crying and she kept asking me, she was like, why are you this way? It's like, is it my fault? Is it something I did wrong? And then I couldn't say anything, and basically my sister just came over and she reached out to me and she said, "You're still my sister and I love you." And my mom was just crying, and then she got up and she went to her room and she was just crying, and me and my friend basically we just had lunch, and I didn't go to rehearsal that day. Then my friend left, and later my mom, she just came into my room and then she's like, "Oh, we need to talk about this." And she said, "When did you start having these feelings and why didn't you reach out to me?" And I just told her basically, I always knew. I always knew I liked girls, but it wasn't until probably middle school that I actually was able to accept it. Not fully accept it, but just recognize that there was something there. And she was really sad, and basically just because I had to do it on my own, because she used to see me suffer and she would always ask me, but I never had the courage to actually just tell her what was wrong with me. And that's the only reason she was mad, but it pretty much was just over in a week. She said, "I accept you, you just have to move on, we're just going to move on from this, and I need you to give your 100% at school, and just move on, and I just want you to be happy." And basically that's it. I've been able to tell my parents about people I've dated recently, or I've dated in the past and stuff, and we've been able to talk about it, and they've given me advice, and that's helped me a lot. So I'm just really grateful, and that's pretty much it. I came out my sophomore year. It wasn't really that a huge transition. It was just I was able to be more free with myself, and I felt at ease, and if my family and my loved ones accepted me for who I was able to be myself, just out there in the world, and not care about what people thought about me, because the people who mattered cared and accepted me, and that's all I needed. So that's pretty much my coming out story. I never expected it to be that day, and it just happened just out of nowhere. I was like, I can't do this anymore, and I told my parents and they accepted me, so I'll be forever grateful for that. I always thought coming out was going to be a big thing, I would remember the date, but I actually don't. I don't remember the date. It just happened, and I actually wrote the date down. I was like, oh, I was going to be like, this was a turning point in my life, and I should be able to look back and celebrate it, like memorize the date, but I don't. I lost the paper. I actually ripped it up, and I don't know, I'll just be forever grateful because I had the courage to do that and not do something stupid or have to live hiding from my family all these years. So I'm just really grateful for that my parents were able to set me. And so that's my coming out story, and thank you.